Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ranjita Singh, aka Dr. Ronnie. I am the self-love doctor, and welcome back to my channel. What to talk about today? There's so much stuff that can be said. One of the things that I realized I really want to focus on my channel is positivity and looking at things from a different perspective. One of the quotes that I love that's on my Instagram is question your perception, because our perceptions are based on our experiences and what we've been told over the years. So questioning your perception allows you to contemplate. It allows you to connect to your inner being and find your own inner truth. A lot of what we think things are or are supposed to be are based on things that have been told to us that we just blindly accept. But once you start questioning that perception, questioning your perception, you start opening your mind to other answers or other ways of thinking. And you're not just so narrow-minded and closed-minded to just be a certain way. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone is on their own personal journey, and if that's where they're at, that's where they're at. And you can't let someone else and where they're at affect you and your peace and your growth. If you want to grow, great, that's on you. You want to grow, but you have to take responsibility for that growth. You can't impose your growth on someone else, right? You're choosing to do that for you. You can't choose to do that. You can't choose for someone to want to do that as well. When it's time for them, it will happen. And it'll be one of those light bulb moments. And I say that, as I think about my own personal journey, March 8th, 2008, I had to do the math there real quick. I moved out of my parents' house. I was a little less than 1 month away from turning 25, and moved in with my best friend in an apartment. Now, my dad had a few choice words to say at that time, and I don't remember them now because obviously they're not important. What's done is done. But when I moved out, there was something inside of me that felt like something was missing. And so the following weekend, when I came back to my parents' house, I went into their meditation / prayer room, and I opened up a spiritual book. And I don't remember what the title is. All I know it was an author who was a devotee of a guru in India named Satya Sai Baba. And so I grabbed this book and I'm reading, and it's reinforcing everything I always felt within myself when I would learn about religion. The first book that ever stood out to me when it came to religion was the story of Siddhartha, the first Buddha, and it just spoke volumes. I can't even describe it. It's a feeling. And so when I picked up this book, however many years later, I always knew God was in my heart. I always knew, I didn't feel like I had to go to a temple or a church or anything like that in order to prove that I had a faith in something greater than myself. And so fast forward to 2008, when I come across this book is reiterating what I felt in my heart. That essentially everything comes down to love, right? And now when I look, now it's March 10th, 2020. It's 12 years later from the point that I picked up that book and started what I call my spiritual journey. And I've come to realize that from the moment I picked up that book, whatever I read that stood out to me, I implemented in my life. in some way, shape, or form. And from that moment forward, everything came down to me. The choices I made came back to me. The way in which I reacted to someone came down to me. And essentially now when I look back on those 12 years, I see the growth that has happened in those 12 years. Prior to that, I was impatient, angry, jealous. My words could cut you with a knife. And when I look at who I am today, because I implemented all the things that I had learned in the past 12 years, I can't even remember who that person was. I can't imagine being mean to someone anymore. I can't imagine hurting someone with words anymore. And at the end of the day, even if the thought crosses my mind, it comes back to me like, why am I feeling this way? Why do I want to say things like this to someone? And I realized what to me was a spiritual journey that began coincides with that self-love journey. The prophets and philosophers and, holy people of the past who've made impacts in the world talk about this universal love, and they also talk about this self with the big S, that self within. And what I've come to realize in the 12 years is, in this day and age, everyone's seeking that self-love, and essentially it's that spiritual journey. The self-love journey is the spiritual journey. It's wanting to connect back with something greater than yourself, and yet that greater thing is within the self. And so it's something that I want to share with the world. It's something that I know is part of my purpose here in this world. And at the end of the day, I just want to teach others to learn how to connect to that self within, and that it can be done in your everyday life, because that's how I did it. I am just someone who grew up in Sacramento, California, went to public school, grateful and blessed that I had two parents that loved me and, provided the main things that everyone wishes to have: a roof over the head, food on the table, clothes to wear, shoes to wear. And at the same time, as much as they tried to shelter and protect me, I still had to go out into the world and experience hurt and pain and falling in love and getting hurt by the person you think you love, and going for the education that immigrant parents want you to get, and then getting to the point of realizing it's not going to go the way we plan it to go, and to come out of that depression and realize like there's something more. There's something more you have to work for and strive for. And for me, it's tapping into that self, because at the end of the day, the thing that I know in my heart that is my purpose is to show people and lead by example, to find that peace within, to find that love within yourself, self-love, tap into that spirit that is love at its highest frequency and vibration, and to cultivate it, and to be patient as it's cultivating, because once you tap into it, it's just about going through life, having experiences, and knowing that those experiences are leading you deeper and deeper into that self, into that love, into that joy, or ananda, as they say in Sanskrit. And knowing that when you reach that place, nothing hinders or wavers your peace. Someone could do something to you, and maybe it'll affect you for a few seconds, but then you reach a point where that's them. It has nothing to do with me. I have that peace within the chaos. I have it within myself, and I did it living this urban life. I didn't have to go to India or the Himalayas or anything like that. I did it right here And on the journey that I was on through medical education, my own personal journey to the Bay Area and San Diego, I did it living my normal life. So you can be spiritual, you can connect to that self, and you don't have to do it in dogmatic ways. It's just a matter of connecting here and feeling out and experiencing life and seeing how it resonates with you. At the end of the day, everything comes down to you, not anyone else. No one is toxic. They're just at the level that they're at. Where are you at? How do you want to improve? Why are you letting what someone says affect you? You know? So it's not that people are toxic. There's always good in everyone. You have to ask yourself the questions. You can't shift that blame outside of yourself. You have to own up to what it is that you're supposed to be working through at this time. And as you start working on that stuff, people, so-called people that are toxic, they fall away. They really do. The universe will slowly remove them. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just work on yourself. That's it. But we're so used to the drama. We're so used to the logical mind. We're so used to just everything on this physical plane. We get weighed down by it. It's very dense. And the spirit is light. The spirit is a high vibration. It's a high frequency. And love is that. And when you start pouring that love into yourself and learning and being patient with your journey, the blessings and gratitude and everything is just in abundance. And you reach a point where you don't blame anyone. You take responsibility for yourself, for everything in life, and not an ounce of you is able to blame. Like, I'm at a point in my journey that I don't blame anyone for anything. I take responsibility for me. If I feel like I'm catching a cold, was I eating over the past month? Was I drinking alcohol over the past month? What was I thinking about over the past month? Because all those things play a role in your health. And what did I choose to do with this physical body that lowered its immune system to be susceptible to becoming ill? But again, that hasn't happened to me in a very long time. You can ask any of my close friends or people I work with, and they wouldn't have an answer for you as far as the last time that I came down with anything. So that is how self-love heals thyself. So love thyself, healthy self, or heal thyself. I don't know how I ended up on that tangent, but yeah, so it's basically the topic for today. Question your perception. Question what you've been taught. Question the things you think about, and just don't judge it. Don't judge what you think. And just start implementing little things to love yourself, because literally the spiritual journey, the self-love journey is one and the same, and you can do it anywhere. You don't have to be in LA surrounded by every spiritual being down there that's trying to make a business out of it. You don't have to be in India or the Himalayas or in Africa or wherever. You literally can be wherever the F you want to be, and just know that it's essentially trusting that inner voice and allowing it to guide you to yourself, because it's always there. We just let this physical world turn the volume down on it. I love you guys. I hope you have a fabulous day. And yeah, that's it. Oh, this is mehendi, or henna. My cousin got married last weekend, and it's part of the customs. And so yeah, that's what's on my hands. I love you. Bye.